Hello there, my name's Gothic Lord, and for this review I'm going to be looking at the SmokTech or SmokTech SID, depends how you want to say it. Costs £49.50 from vaporscape.co.uk. This is a product I've purchased for myself. It is a variable voltage, variable wattage device, and one that, well, quite a few reviews on it now. Very nice looking device and fairly smooth on the thread. A little bit of grind, but that's what you'd expect really. Sort of breaks down quite nicely. 18650 mod type here. So yeah, I mean basic 18650 battery. As it has the circuitry on here, you don't necessarily need to use protected, but I always do anyway. Your top cover comes away quite nicely, and yeah, I mean it's quite a nice little device, and the little screen there, as you can see, it is what it is. I mean, it is a great little piece of kit. It is something I've wanted for a while, but I know everybody looks at this, and some people like the fact it spins, some people don't. I don't mind it. I mean, it sounds quite a nice click to it. In the screen itself, well, it's a pain in the neck during bright light, I have to say. I've had this now for a few weeks, but as you can see, menu, all you have to do is sort of hover on the menu and it will allow you to switch through the options. But yeah, I mean, I like to keep on the battery so I can see what's left on there. 3.8 volt, fine for me. It seems pretty good with anything sort of 1.4 ohms upwards. It has a range of, I believe for the wattage, it's up to 15 watts it will do from 3 watts. So quite a nice little range. Voltage, let's just put it into voltage mode, which is, let's have a look. Shall we have a look here? It's quite a nice, easy menu. I think looking at this, I've actually got it mirrored on the computer, but hey. But yeah, the voltage will run from 3 volts all the way up to, I believe it's around about 6 volts, yeah, 6 volts, and then it cycles back over. So it's a pretty standard thing these days on these variable wattage, variable voltage type devices. So yeah, I mean, quite nice to sort of hold in the hand, I have to say. Looks absolutely massive next to something like an Ego. But yeah, I mean, from my point of view, does what I want it to do. And the fit for this, obviously the old Vivi Nova on there, fits lovely and flush. One thing I will say, I've got my little cupboard here, not always great with all devices. For instance, my little Arga T. Doesn't fit quite so flush. And if there's anybody out there who is able to machine sort of a new sort of top section for these. I mean, that may be a possible sort of market to look at, because I know I like using my Argo, but at the moment not touching it because it doesn't really look right on this device, which is a real shame. Now back to this, and the really good thing for those who don't know about the variable wattage side of things, basically with variable voltage, obviously you can control the voltage, and that can has its impact on your atomizer, and it's something you control yourself. With the variable wattage, you set the wattage you want. No matter what resistance rating your atomizer has, this will automatically adjust the voltage so that you're always getting the same wattage. And I have mine set to 6 watts. Got a little 1.8 ohm head on this. Give it a go. Massive amounts of vapour coming off. And I mean, in there at the moment I've got a little 16 milligram strawberry from tea juice. Lovely flavour, I have to say. But yeah, this, and a lot of people say that it's all down to the device, what you sort of draw out of it. It's down to the tank, what you draw out of it. It's down to the liquid. Yeah, it's a combination of a lot. But at the end of the day, for me, having the power that this can kick out, and it is a constant power. Sort of rattlesnake sound coming off of it. Lovely sound, actually, if you ask me. I like the sound of it crackling away. Yeah, as I say, I've had this now a couple of weeks. Absolutely loving it. It is now my main device of choice, and never seems to drop off power as the battery's running down. One thing I will say, when you get down to about 3.3 volts, you will get a little message coming up saying low voltage. It won't fire after that point, but yeah, I mean, I always carry some extra batteries with me anyway, so not really an issue. Let's say that, I mean, it's a great little device. It looks good, feels good in the hands, and as I say, the only issue I have is sort of with the head section. Just that little section there that you can sort of take off to clean around the actual head of it. Standard 510 and ego connections. But yeah, I mean, literally just that tapering there, as lovely as it looks, it does mean that some devices won't necessarily look as good on it as they can. Whereas, as I say, the Nova, absolutely perfect fit, goes in with the lines perfectly. It's just a shame with the Argo. I mean, yes, I could mill down some of it, but hey, I mean, I think possibly putting in a second top section, which is totally in line with the body rather than tapering off, that may be an idea. Let's solve that issue, and you could switch between the two, and depending on the device you're using. But my thoughts only. And would I really sort of recommend this to anybody? Yes, and I have. Several guys at work have now sort of taken up vaping, and sort of got them geared up with stuff, and got them liquids, and got them on the road to it. But yeah, I mean, I definitely would recommend it. It is a great little piece of kit, and it's very simple to use. Although my other half does reckon it looks something like a spaceship. But But yeah, I mean, it is a nice bit of kit to hold. And yeah, I mean, it's a lovely texture to it. It does sit quite nicely. Lovely little hole in the bottom for venting gases, and a little inscription on the bottom says honour produced by SmokTech. But yeah, I mean, as to what that is. But yeah, it's a lovely bit of kit. As I say, every single draw I take on it, same result until the battery dies, and I can't really complain at that. It is pretty nice to have that. I mean, the reverb batteries, as you all know if you've seen my reviews, they do tend to tail off as the battery runs dead. Egos not so much, but that is what I prefer. I prefer it to be consistent. I don't like it to drop off halfway through the day and then tail off for the rest of the day. So, I mean, is it really worth the price? Yeah, I mean, under 50 quid, and comparable to sort of S Maxes. And really, where can you go wrong? I mean, okay, it doesn't have quite the aesthetic looks of a Pravari. It's maybe not the sort of priciest thing on the market, but at the end of the day, it's good value for what you're getting, and I really don't have any sort of problem with it at all, other than that one little niggle with the top section. But really, there's not much more I can say about it. And well, I hope you've enjoyed the review, and hope to see you all again soon.